Yarraman Park Tulloch Stakes over 1850. Let's get into the mounting yard, brought to you by Harvey Norman for all your furniture, bedding and electrical. Regal Lion for Murray Baker and Andrew Forsman, the Kiwis. Nash Ruiller on board.
Maybe 6 runs thirds, and we'll wait that news from the judge. Maybe 6 over 1. They are certainly the pair fighting. Is Ali Mosley's pick of the yard here at Newcastle, and that is Benno. It's a $23 chance. Brenton Avdulla aboard. John O'Shea train.
Favourite over Character, who was 4 out to 4.80, is now a $4.60 chance. Character, though, Money from the Sky is the last one, so they lead the back straight. Added Zoom on, a long leader from Sword Point, and White Noise got to a clear third. Did a bit of work to get to that position, the Kiwi. They're followed then by Character fourth on the outside of Paternal. Then Clyde from Brave Boyd, Taverstorm on the outside of Satirical Glory. This field really stringing out. A gap back to Regal Lion from Benno. Then came Yika, and Money from the Sky would be 25 lengths last as they come up to the turn in the Tulloch Stakes. And Clark getting busy here on Zoom On. Swings the corner in front from the favourite Sword Point, who's launching the claim. A long way to go. 3 lengths to Character. White Noise back on the inside, and they're a mile in front of Regal Lion. Paternal's dropped right out. Big problem there. It's Sword Point in front. Character is the only danger, and Character moved up to Sword Point. They've got it between them. Regal Lion goes to third, and then came Benno, but it's Character in front from Sword Point, and Character wins the Tulloch Stakes. Regal Lion's made up in a massive amount of ground to run second in front of Sword Point, and the fast finishing Benno up on the outside, followed by Clyde, then Taverstorm from back on the inside. White Noise, a gap back in the field to Zoom On, who got very tired from Money.
Number 3, Character, is first. Look at Regal Lion, who Andrew Forsman told us that he's more dour than the other one, and he's going to be a Derby horse. Well, he'll back up in 5 days' time, and I think Sword Point
we'll never know, and he'll be very popular there, Benno, as far as Derby talk is concerned as well. But a good win, a good ride, Tommy Berry, and Character.
If I stay here.
Co-runners are in the yard for race number 3, the Canadian Club Emancipation Stakes over 1,500 metres. This is the Group 2 for the fillies and mares, and our mounting yard is brought
to back. They're off and racing, and Kiku flopped out the gates last. More Profits went back to join her. Expat jumped well together with a favourite Anavisto sent forward early. In advance of Vangelic, Mirror Vision, then came Nimmerly. Crone tugging along on the inside of Promise of Success, and a gap back. So it's Expat in front at the 800 metres, but the favourite Anavisto's done some work on the outside, and they try and steady the tempo here. Expat a half length to Anavisto, then Vangelic from Mirror Vision. Further back to Nimmerly, who's on the outside of Crone, who continues to improve. A length further back to Promise of Success from Kiku, and More Profits is the last one. Coming to the turn at Expat just in front from Anavisto, and Vangelic moves up 3 wide. Nimmerly moves up 4 wide. Promise of Success gets going. Now back behind them, being ridden along is Crone. Mirror Vision back to the inside. Running rail as Anavisto races to a narrow lead from Vangelic. Winding up his Promise of Success with Nimmerly in the middle, and Kiku with a big finish late. Favourite under siege, Anavisto. Promise of Success wide out. Moved up in a 5-way go, and Promise of Success wins the Emancipation. Beat Kiku. Photo for third, Anavisto and Vangelic, followed by Nimmerly. Then More Profits, followed in by Mirror Vision, Crone at Expat Weekend to finish last.
Well, promise of success, 540 and 170. She just kept coming, and she's got up right on the line. She's held out Kiku. She's beat win for her in Emancipation.
A massive result for her and Connections, to be fair, Greg, and the mare deserved it, to be fair.
Thanks, Adrian.
Thank you.
AB.
The 4th is the ACY Securities Doncaster Prelude 1500, and this
way they go, and jumping quite well was Coast Watch together with Chat, and poking through is the front man making a line of 3. Our Playboy 4th on the rails, then Mr. Mozart, who's caught wide, and Pike sending the colt forward. Dazran settles in the second half of the field on the inside of 4 Home 2. Then came Imaging from Brachar's last of a fairly strung out field, so the front man in front. The favourites doing doing plenty of work here doing the chasing. Mr. Mozart in second. 2 lengths to Coast Watch, followed after a gap to Chat. Then our Playboy being nursed along on the rails, followed by 4 Home 2 from Dash Run. Then came Imaging from Brutality, and Cucaracha's last of all. 400 metres to run, and the frontman in front by a length or so are Mr. Mozart. 2 lengths away to Coast Watch, our Playboy in the centre. Dash Run making ground towards the inside, and a gap back to Chat. It's Mr. Mozart getting to a narrow lead from our Playboy. Coast Watch the outside. They beat off the front man. Mr. Mozart and our Playboy, the favourites, knuckling out a good finish. Mr. Mozart fending off our Playboy, and that's been a good performance. Mr. Mozart worked hard up on the speed and too good for our Playboy. Dash Run third. A gap back to the front man from Brutality, and Cucaracha making late headway. Coast Watch drifted out late. Then 4 Home 2 from Chat, and Imaging didn't fire a cracker. Finished last.
Mozart, so is he going to the Doncaster now? He's won a Far Lap, he's won a Doncaster Prelude, he's a 3-year-old. Number 11, our Playboy, second, tried hard. Dajran will get third, but it's Mr. Mozart, Willie Pike and Team Hawks.
Yeah, he's done a really good job there because he...
Better order here today. How's she come through her win in the Australian Cup?
Really well. Yeah, came back home pretty smartly after the Australian Cup down at Flemington.
Yes, Ed Cummings, a 2-time Group 1 winner with Jewess, the Queensland Oaks and the Australian Cup, and looking to become another Cummings name with that name on the trophy, the Cummings name with Jewess. $2.50 favourite here in front of Spanish Mission and Think It Over. So this is the first ever Group 1 to be run on this Newcastle racecourse here today.
Locked and loaded now for the Tancred Stakes. Gates are back, and they're off and racing in the first of the 2 big ones, and the chosen one set of gates hit the gates running. From Angel of Truth, Think It Over, and Mighty Bill, pretty handy. Spanish Mission staying in the middle part of the track and ambling forward in the early stages, followed by Shiraz with a nose roll on the outside as She's Ideal, Stockman, and Dewis is being eased back to the rear of the field. Angel of Truth is the leader, and Spanish Mission got to second, and James McDonald's ring caught 3 wide from the start and slowly creeps into a more forward roll. And down the back section of the course now, Berry is allowing to stride up to second now, Mighty Bill, and Spanish Mission just took a tug there back into third, 1.5 lengths to Think It Over on the inside of the chosen one. Then She's Ideal from Shiraz, 1.5 lengths to Stockman, and the favourite Dewis is last of all at about 9 lengths off the lead, which is Angel of Truth, 1,000 metres to run by 2 lengths on Mighty Bill, 2 lengths then to Spanish Mission third, a similar margin to Think It Over. Then came the chosen one from She's Ideal. Shiraz Clipperton pulls out now on Stockman as they start the run down the side, and he's coming into the race pretty quickly. Josh Parr, though, keeps his powder dry in the mare. Dewis still sitting back last, coming to the turn. Angel of Truth in front by a length to Mighty Bill. Spanish Mission starts to improve his position. Stockman's 4 deep now coming to the bend. They're followed further back by Shiraz onto his back from the chosen one. Dewis pulling deep. Think It Over's got shuffled back into a very awkward spot, and She's Ideal taking a rails run. Into the straight now. Mighty Bill moved up on the outside of Angel of Truth. Dewis is cutting loose, coming down the outside of Stockman, and in a bound, the great mare Dewis races to the lead inside the 200 metres and shot clear from Stockman. Then chosen one, Shiraz, and further back to Think It Over, but Dewis, a star mare on the rise, and she claims the Group 1 double, the Australian Cup and the Tancred Stakes. What a performance. Stockman second, Photo third, Think It Over and the chosen one. Followed in by Angel of Truth, Mighty Bill, She's Ideal, Shiraz, Spanish Mission weakened out. Oh, she oozes class, this mare.
She oozes class. She is something special. Josh Parr knows it. Ed Cummings knows it. And there are a lot of punters starting to know it. She has come from last. She has rounded them up. She's gone past a Group 1 field, and she joins some great names on the Tancred on a roll.
Well, wasn't that worth waiting for? Wasn't that worth waiting for? What does Ed do next? How can he pass up 53 kilos in a Sydney Cup? She can't be penalised. I think that might be the option he takes with her. She just switches off early.
she's a very talented filly. There's no doubt about that. I must admit, you know, getting to the 1,000-metre mark, I saw Josh just starting to get it to niggle along, like she'd sort of switched off a little too well. But and then even as Stockman started sort of moving up 3 and 4 wide, I was talking to to Alex, you know, he's my right-hand man, and we were like, "Come on, Joshy, what are you doing, mate? Like, it's time to get going." Anyway, she's a very special filly.
She's got a huge heart, great lungs.
No dramas.
Could she come back to 2,000?
Oh, easily. Yeah, easily. You know, we haven't changed much of her work, and she's just a natural athlete. Like, you can do whatever you like with her.
Okay. Well,
I'm getting emotional. Oh, best go.
All right, good on you, mate.
Thank you.
Well done.
Rory, you're already a two-time Group
1. Okay, the runners are in the yard for the next the Vinery, and by the way, Dewis, I said 53 to Josh Duff. Darren Flindell with the call of the Vinery.
Outside barrier. So we're just about ready. There's the light. And the fillies are set to run. Now, and they're racing. Never Been Kissed and Hinge were clearly the best two into stride, and Never Been Kissed is going to hold the lead. Stray Punches through to 3rd, and Fangirls going forward into 4th. In advance of Ellen Mack, then Mockalua. Further back to Hope in Your Heart from Youthful, one off the fence. Gin Martini pushing through. Gypsy Goddess back 5th last in advance of Pink Ivory. And Abdullah has the second favourite running second. That is Hinge, followed then by Stray, and Fangirl got to very handy 4th. Closest she's been in ages. They're followed then by Mockalura on the inside of Ellen Mack. 2.5 further back to Hope in Your Heart on the outside of Gin Martini. Then came Youthful from Pink Ivory. The unbeaten Queensland filly Gypsy Goddess 4th last of the 1,000. They're followed further back by Head and Smile, Pretty Amazing, and Yearning about 15 lengths off the leads last of all. So Never Been Kissed, ensuring it's a true gallop here in the Vinery Stud Stakes of the 800 metres. Never Been Kissed, 2 lengths clear from Hinge, followed by Stray, 2 lengths to Fangirl. Then came Mockalua from Ellen Mack. None of these back markers getting into it yet. The pace is still pretty solid up front. Then Hope in Your Heart from Gin Martini. Gypsy Goddess pulling out, trying to improve. Then came Pink Ivory from Youthful. Pretty Amazing, Yearning, and Head and Smile as they swing for home. Never Been Kissed coming to the centre of the track. Leads by a length on Hinge. Fangirl goes to 3rd. A gap back to Ellen Mack. Then came Mockalua. Gypsy Goddess still 6 off the lead. She'll have to be good to win from there. It's Never Been Kissed, being joined by Hinged and Fangirl the outside. It's Hinged and Fangirl. Fangirl the outside of Hinged is in for the fight. Fangirl ahead in front to Hinge. Stride for stride, Fangirl and Hinged, and Fangirl won the Vinery Stud Stakes in a great battle. Fangirl wore down Hinged, and a gap back to Gypsy Goddess 3rd. In front of Pink Ivory and Never Been Kissed. Then Hope in Your Heart, followed by Ellen Mack, Gin Martini, Yearning. A gap back to Youthful, Pretty Amazing, Mockalua, Stray, and Head and Smile.
Well, Fangirl has got her Group 1 here. She is too good for the stablemate Hinged. They fought it out. They got past Never Been Kissed. The 2 Waller runners, the Cerise, doing the best. And Fangirl beats Hinged to give Waller Group 1 win number 135, and to give the jockey Fangirl and Hinge. What a great contest down the straight. And Chris Waller, you've trained the Quinella, and Fangirl's got a Group 1.
Yeah, she certainly has, and well deserved. It's been a tough autumn for so many of the horses, especially the fillies, and checkered form lines I get, but just what my team do at home to pick these horses up, especially young horses, and try and turn them around after perhaps a disappointing run last start is quite remarkable. So, yeah.
Very keen on Straight Aaron here. Terrific run first up there at Warwick Farm, and I think the winner goes pretty well, a Lock Eagle, and Straight Aaron was able to pull a lot of ground off him in the straight there. The step up to the mile's outstanding. It's whether even money's too...
Very keen. 65% of the hold, 8-9 times more than the next best backed runner in the race. This is a very good push. I was stunned to wake up and see $1.95. We're now talking about even money. Our traders were keen to take this runner on.
And they're off and racing. Kelton Road stumbled out of the gates and is a clear last. Capistel bounced out well from Sweet Ruby. Jalmari's handy from Flying Crazy, then Dark Rebel Devil Racer. Favourite settles second last. Straight Aaron Aaron on the outside of Keldon Road. So Sweet Ruby, then Dark Rebel from Devil Racer. Straight Aaron and Keldon Road the last two. They've got 7.50 to run. Sweet Ruby in front by a half length now to Capistel. Then Flying Crazy from Jalmari, Dark Rebel further back to Devil Racer. Straight Aaron peeling 3 wide now at the 600 metres. Well, they're just coming back in again for cover. And a length and a half to Keldon Road has come right off the bridle. Coming to the turn, Sweet Ruby in front narrowly from Capistel. Flying Crazy third the inside as Jalmari revved up. Straight Aaron gets to the outside. He's 4 lengths away, 3 lengths away, getting into the finish. Capistel at the 250, a length clear from Flying Crazy. Straight Aaron's winding up on the outside and Jalmari through the middle. But Straight Aaron moved up now with 100 metres to run and beat off Capistel and Jalmari. And it's all Straight Aaron ripping clear in the Carbine Club Stakes for a 3-length victory. Second Jalmari, Capistel third, and Devil Racer got up to run fourth. Then came Dark Rebel, Sweet Ruby, Flying Crazy there, and last in was Keldon Road.
No surprise about the result. He's a good horse. He really wrapped them up, didn't he? So James has come down the same part of the track in both the first 2 races with Voldem.
See that about the...
Considering circumstances, I know it's a heavy track and they've run very slow time there again, but I think this is a real horse of the future. He's likeable, there's upside, he's lightly raced, he's got youth and talent on his side. That's an absolute demolition job from a horse that had a lot to do.
Yes, they club. Straight Aaron, very, very easy win.
Good horse. No, I don't know about the opposition, but good horse. I think he's a Group 1 winner in the making. I don't know how soon. He's a gelding, so Chris can take his time and get him going his way. But he went back in a slowly run race here and he owned it. Might be a lovely Queensland Guineas horse and could be a Group 1 winner in the future for sure. I love what I saw.
I went in to interview James about Nature Strip, and all he wanted to talk about was that horse.
Really?
That's all he wanted to talk about. He said this horse is a really good horse, and obviously he watched his replay at Tancred Farm and the way...
In this interview, I think we kept it in, Chris Wallace thinking he may be back in 12 months' time on this day to win a Doncaster. Here he is.
Greg, I think Mamunia profiles quite well here, already proven at the trip 2,000 metres at Beaumont when winning over this journey, so I like her. But I'm Divine trialled really well at Warwick Farm.
So often is for the Adrian Knox, but all of these hoping, or plenty of them hoping, that they can go on with the job and, of course, run well in the Australian Oaks, not too far away at all. Roots at $5.50 has been prominent in that market from the get-go, has just been usurped as favourite here by the Godolphin runner in Mamunia, who is the best-backed runner in the race. Secret Glamour rolled. Shannon at $11. Honey Creeper there at double figures as well, and into Summertime at $12. Bit of depth to this race.
Late scratching Summerville, and they're off here in the Adrian Knox, and jumping well was Macassar together with Prophet's Pride. Shannon's right on the scene. Undivine's using the inside draw to punch through, and then Taizai going forward from Charity Spirit. Then came Akira from Mamunia, and Roots jostling for the same position. Further back to Empress L on the outside of Into Summertime. Back in the field, Honey Creeper has got blinkers on for the first time. She's travelling strongly fourth last. Followed then first to last now at the 1,000 metres. And up front, Prophet's Pride in front for Jean Van Overmeer by a half length to Taizai. Undivine leaders back third, followed by Shannon. Then came Akira. Half the outside to Macassar. Further back to Mamunia from Charity Spirit. No change to the order and still plenty of ground covering the field. Further back then to Into Summertime is back on the inside of Roots. 2 off to Empress L from Nino. Pulling 3 wide now, Secret Glamour from Honey Creeper is trying to improve. And Morris Santley is still back last. Prophet's Pride at the 500 metres. Really being eyeballed here by Taizai. Now Undivine looking to come off the fence and works into the clear. Now Undivine. Macassar hard at it. Akira's running on. Further back to Charity Spirit. Roots is coming down the outside with Into Summertime, but it's Taizai, a nice leader here at the 250 metres. Honey Creeper starting to come into the race now. It's Taizai being tackled by Honey Creeper, clear from Charity Spirit and Roots, but Honey Creeper with the shades on today has come from right out the back and is powering away here with the Adrian Knox. Big win, Honey Creeper, beat Charity Spirit. Third, maybe Mamunia there right on the post from Taizai. Then came Morris Santley from Roots, who was one paced up the straight from Into Summertime. Then Empress L, Macassar, Akira. Further back then to Secret Glamour. A good gap back to Shannon, and the last 2, Prophet's Pride and Undivine, are really really got very tight in these heavy conditions.
She over-raced, didn't she? Mamooni at the stablemate, white cap here, just had trouble getting through, Jamie, as Hugh was able to get through on Honey Creeper. So they scratched this filly from the Vinery, a late scratch on that Monday morning, to hold her for here. Richo, I'll go down to you. Good work by James Cummings. Scratches on the Monday. And
it's a great result, scratching Monday for this filly who we knew could run the trip after the good performance in the Tassie Oaks, and she went up a level there.
Yeah, she certainly did. We had this feeling that she'd really...
Very reminiscent of Colette in this race a couple of years ago before she went on to win the Oaks. Honey Creeper.
Yeah, look, and she's just in great form. Bowman at the moment. He went to Newcastle the other day, went bang, bang, bang. I think he rode the first 4 winners or something.
First 4, yeah.
And here he is. Kept his cool, just weaved his way through there in the Bowman lane. And I don't know whether he made her look better than what she was, but she certainly...
She's impressive the last...
Pretty good, the last bit, wasn't she?
Yeah, she really ripped through the line. She got over the ground like it was a dead track, not a heavy track.
Loved it. Yeah, and, you know, sprinted home. So you got to say, if she back up in a heavy track next week, you'll might be cooking with a little bit of gas, or there'll be more opposition. Charity Spirit was okay. Mamooni, like her a lot. Just that she missed the run coming into the race, so I don't know where she stands now. I did hear James say that he'd probably look at Adelaide or something with her, but she'd be hard to beat. She's 1,300 to 2,000, and she's done a really good job to run third there. Taizo was okay, and Roots, yeah, just peaked on her run as well. But recently was very strong late, so maybe a bold 2,400 to suit her.
All right, Gypsy Goddess. So we have Gypsy Goddess hinged, Pink Ivory. They're coming through the Vinery run at Newcastle. And Fangirl likely to also race on Saturday, but in the Queen of the Turf.
Yeah, you'd think...
$8.90 and $6.70 for Jeffrey Morn to beat, probably one ahead of 4. Looks like 9, 1, 4 and 5 on race number 3 from Morfordville.
Spent running at weight for age or set weight and penalties. He's finally back in a handicap. He's on soft ground, natural willer, very suitable class. I thought he ran well in the Australian Cup. I think he's got a great winning chance.
Well, I'm pleased you say that.
House. There is very little separating Great House and the favourite Zayrek. About 23% of the hold, and currently $6.
Down on the fence midfield in advance of Avion Fury, Surprise Baby, then South Pacific, True Marvel, Sweet Thomas last of all. So Knight's Order taken to the front here by Clark, and Feel the Rush gets across to second. Nerve Not Verve trails them third, Alakahan fourth now. So they race inside the 1,200 metres now. It's Knight's Order in front by a length and a half to Feel the Rush. Then Nerve Not Verve, Alakahan. No moves at the moment. Zayrek from Carp Fever, Great House. Wider out as She's Ideal. Then came Luncy's from Surprise Baby. Olympic Gaze 3 wide starting to improve. Well back in the field then Avion Fury together with Savvy Valentino the outside, and the red cap taking closer order from Sweet Thomas, True Marvel and South Pacific last. So they start to quicken things up now at the 750. Knight's Order 2 in front. 2 Feel the Rush. Then Nerve Not Verve, Alakahan. Zayrek still fifth, the inside running rail, followed by She's Ideal and the outside of Carp Fever. Olympic Gaze out deep trying to improve. Luncy's gets onto its back. Then Great House towards the inside is scraping paint at this point, and a gap further back to Savvy Valentino, but Knight's Order swings in front. Nerve Not Verve's been doing the chasing together with Feel the Rush. Zayrek goes to fourth. Alakahan's running on quite well, and Luncy's down the outside. Nerve Not Verve has been trailing, moved up now to tackle Knight's Order for the lead, and they're a mile in front of the rest. Nerve Not Verve at the 100 gets the upper hand from Knight's Order, is trying to fight back, but Nerve Not Verve in front, kicking. Nerve Not Verve wins it, a half length to Knight's Order. A gap back to Luncy's third, then Alakahan and Feel the Rush in a photo for fourth. Further back to She's Ideal, then Zayrek, Sweet Thomas, Great House. A gap to Carp Fever from True Marvel, Surprise Baby, South Pacific. A gap to Olympic Gaze, Avion Fury and Savvy Valentino last.
Nerve Not Verve, Mike Moroney wins his second Chairman's Quality, and Nerve Not Verve goes to the city.
In the English sires, he ran a huge fourth in the Golden Slip.
Well, I've been waiting weeks for this. Show Court goes into the race as a maiden, but I think it's going to be very hard to beat today, and I love the lead-up trial as well. He looks absolutely spot on. We'll see how good Fireburn is today. Perhaps she's something special. Her slipper win was enormous, and no luck at all for She's Extreme in the slipper itself. So they're my top three. But
hey, what price are we going to jump? Well, at that stage we were talking $1.90, and that was obscenely short, truth be told. We're now talking $2.50. Hard to believe we were hoping for $2.20. $4.80 about She's Extreme has trimmed in. Now, we were as much as $8 first thing today. Hovered around the $5 mark for most of it. Let's Roll the Dice is the second best backed runner in the race. Fireburn does occupy 50% of the hold. Dormier at $10, Show Court at $10, Magic at $13 and $20.
They are absolutely in prime condition. I'm going the way of Show Court, as I mentioned when he was walking around. I might be going off one preparation too early. He has got a...
And they're off and racing now, and Magic and Dormier have jumped well. She's Extreme handled the start well. Looks as though Berry's going to put her in a prominent position as well. In advance then of Show Court going forward. So after the first 200, Dormier and She's Extreme go to the front, and Magic lands in third from Man in the Mirror. Show Court fifth. Length and a half further back to Charlatan on the inside of the grey Brosners, who's obscured there. Further back to Wealthy Investor. Now Fireburn is back towards the inside, improving. 2 lengths to Let's Roll the Dice in advance of Warby, and Count the Headlights last of all. The Blue Diamond winner in front, Dormier at the 800 metres, and She's Extreme has been very well back. Berry taking Bad Luck out of the equation in second, followed by Man in the Mirror on the inside of Magic. 2 further back to Show Court, then Charlatan from Brosnan. Fireburn locked up on the inside from Wealthy Investor, then Let's Roll the Dice from Warby, and Count the Headlights last of all. Dormier leads around the corner from She's Extreme. 2 lengths to Man in the Mirror, then came Magic. Fireburn improving along the rails, and deeper out Brosnan and Show Court. She's Extreme moved up now, took the lead away from Dormier. 3 lengths to Fireburn. It's She's Extreme drawing 2 lengths clear. Fireburn, she's looking to defy history. She's giving chase the slipper winner, and Fireburn went past She's Extreme. She's a very exciting filly. Fireburn by 2 lengths to She's Extreme. Let's Roll the Dice a distant third, then Dormier. Count the Headlights, Charlatan. Further back to Brosnan. A gap back to Wealthy Investor, Warby, Magic, Show Court, and Man in the Mirror. There's 5 in a row for the Star filly.
Well said, Darren, well said. She is an outstanding 2-year-old. What the future, and that's great, isn't it? There's Anthony and Gary together there. The fillies have dominated, as they often do. I mean, we've been seeing that with the older fillies.
Oh, that might cost him a couple of thousand, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Curse? What curse? She might just win the Champagne just as easy as that, because she relaxes. I thought for 1 minute you're going to try something silly and ride her a bit closer, but she just grabbed the bit when she had to.
That is any winner. He got as much kick out of that as any winner he has ridden. And don't forget, he was on the sidelines not so long ago. Here he comes, Gary Portelli.
After week, and she raises the bar, and she'll set a task in the slipper, and she proved herself. And a few people were knocking her before the race today, thinking it might have been a one-off thing, but they don't do that in slippers and still win. I thought today's race was probably, without taking it away from the opposition, wasn't as strong as the slipper, and only meant that she had to turn up in the same order. And all week she's been telling me she's been spot on, ready to go. So I just couldn't wait for the race and just watched.
Size, this marvellous filly. She's the first filly to win the slipper size double since Merlin. If she goes on to win the Champagne, she'll be the next filly since Burst to win the Triple Crown. And who says she will not win the Triple Crown after this?
Well, she's even money. That tells you how dominant she is, and she just loves to chase them down. We've been saying it for 2 or 3 starts now. She just loves something to peg back, and once she got sight of the leader here, she did her thing and raced away. The fillies were so dominant again.
I heard Breton on radio this morning say when he straightened up and the second horse was 6 lengths in front of him, he said it wasn't far enough. He said it wasn't far enough. He knew he was going to pick him up really quickly and easily. That's a big statement, you know, to 6 lengths in front, saying that's not far enough. she's a bit of a freak, I think.
Yeah, well, she might be, and there's every indication that she's just got a mile written all over her. Let's roll the dice. He looks like a miler as well. He's probably the best of the colts there. Dormier battled okay, and
a celebration. It's not actually a celebration, is it? Well, he's been fined under the rule of a celebratory gesture, but it wasn't. It was
cheeky.
Yeah,
it was very cheeky.
I don't know. Everyone's got a different opinion. I've heard conflicting arguments both sides. I thought it was good. I thought it was good theatre.
It was theatre.
I will tell you something. I heard that someone was sought for like that. No, that wasn't the case at all.
He is saying, "Come on, keep up.
Yeah,
come on."
Now he's probably got two of the cheekiest celebrations or whatever you want to call it, because it was the Oaks in Melbourne where he took a bow at the 50.
I like that too. Yeah,
that was good.
I've got no problem with that, except that it is breaking the only top-class 2-year-olds going around in Australia yesterday. By the way, she's in odds on now, Ronnie. Yeah, $1.90. Yeah. Fireburn. She's extreme, going to the Champagne, so another match up there. But it's her race for sure, Fireburn, to win the Triple Crown. So she wasn't
an out-and-out stayer on physicalities. Obviously, he's got a big question mark whether he's going to handle the wet conditions today, but on looks alone, he looks in great shape.
Katie in the third in the Spring Champion and then second in the Derby behind a Totsu.
He did. I don't think the staying will worry him at all. It's just the wet
start in the Alistair Clark. He just got over Keen in the run. They've taken the blinkers off. He looks as though he's...
$300, have what you want. Totsu has been so well backed. I'm surprised, actually, by the weight of money. We're talking about 35% of the hold in an Australian Derby. $3.10. Now, it's hovered around that price all day. I wouldn't worry about the 30-cent drift one iota. A Regal line at $16. As for those at longer odds, well, there was a little bit of interest in Footlights early. That's dried up, and that's about...
And Dulcify.
I'd worry about...
Mahogany and Dulcify of winners of the Victoria Derby going on to win the AJC, or ATC it was now, Australian Derby since it's moved to the Order.
First run in 18.
Stakes are back, they're off. And Zoomon left particularly well together with Allegron, Whiteout Castlereagh Kid, Morris will be Dad Handy together with War Eternal. Clyde's going to park just behind them and Character's going forward. So after the first 200 metres, it's Castlereagh Kid showing good muster to clear those on the inside. He's looking for the lead now from Character is right there and lands a terrific spot turning out of the straight to Character on the outside of Zoomon. And Morris's Me Dad continues to push forward in advance of War Eternal. They're followed then by Footlights, who's pretty handy down on the inside running rail. A length further back to close. Spot he was on Monday when winning the Tulloch Stakes just in advance of Footlights. 2 lengths then to War Eternal, followed by Azami. Then came Clyde from Can't Go One. Allegron, Forgot Youth, cast 3 deep the trip. Further back to Regal Line on the inside of the favourite Hitotsu. 2 lengths then to the great Benno and the red cap, who's over on the inside of Raging Bull. Then came Akahata from Sea Treasures and White Noises last as the Derby field start the run down the side. They've got 1,000 metres to run and Nash sitting pretty here on Castlereagh Kid. A half length to Morris's Me Dad. Zoom on third from Character given every chance. Then Footlights 3 back the fence on the inside of War Eternal. Now Clyde is pulling out deep together with Hitotsu trying to improve their positions. Further back to Azami. Then came Can't Go Wong. Regal Line is strung up in the middle of the ruck together with Raging Bull as they approach the home turn now. Benno's pulling to the outside. The grey trying to get into it. Further back to White Noise from Akahata dropping out and Sea Treasures as they bunch on the turn. Castlereagh Kid from Morris's Me Dad. Characters pulling out. Footlights getting a rouse run from Zoom on. Then came War Eternal. Down the outside, Hitotsu and Benno both putting in big runs. They're wide out and Benno moved up on the outside of Hitotsu. Through the centre is Allegron. It's Allegron coming out on Benno. Between them, Hitotsu trying to lift. Hitotsu is lifting from Benno the outside. The grey Benno goes to Hitotsu. Hitotsu clings on and Hitotsu wins the Derby. The first since Mahogany to do the double. Hitotsu just from Benno and Allegron and they get the rest. Big margin back to Zoom on. Then Sea Treasures, Morris's Me Dad, Raging Bull, Castlereagh Kid, Regal Lion, War Eternal Clyde. A big gap back to Footlights from Forgot You. Azami, Can't Go Wong. Character dropped out from White Noise and Akahata was last.
He just can't do what this 3-year-old does. He jumps from a mile to a mile and a half, and he does it not once, but he does it twice. He's won his second derby. Haitotsu, it got a bit messy there down at the distance. Benno swept up, but this horse is just a superior stayer. And he outstays Benno in the run to the line by about a long neck. And Character, is it not Character, Allegron will be in third spot.
What a horse. What a horse. Where do you do with him? I'd love to see him back up next week, just to put a bit more cream into that race, the Queen Elizabeth. India work now, son, and boy, oh boy, he's a really good horse. That's 3 Group 1s for him now, and a great trainer, Kieran is. I must say, he's all over the place. He's all over the place, and Benno had him done to a dinner. But look at the gap to the 4th horse, but all honours with the winner. He's a superior colt.
Very special horse win the Derby yesterday, Haitotsu. He does the double, the Victorian and Australian Derby. Incredibly, Johnny Allen has now won in Australia, in the capital cities, 11 derbies.
It's an amazing story.
He hasn't been here that long.
No, and he come over here, he was wanting to ride in a few jumps races and ride work and have a good lifestyle, and he's now one of our leading Group 1 riders every year.
And he was beaten here.
Talk about the early crow.
Talk about off the canvas, and you're right. Talk about, this is the second early crow for me on the day. How did he fight back?
The more interference he found, the better he
sprung him into action.
Yeah.
How good is he? I don't know.
And Johnny Allen's comments after the race is he never handled the going astride.
Look at this. Look at this overhead shot here. Like, the grey company. He looks like he's under full pressure, Haitotsu. Bang, gotcha. And then look at this. And then
turn it off.
He's going to
turn it off.
Anyway, good luck to him. I will. Not that I second guess Kieran Maher. I just didn't like the setup. But how can you second guess a trainer like him?
Yep.
He is an unbelievable trainer.
Great training performance.
And I'm not leaving out David as well. What a combination they have. And I wouldn't be surprised if David starts to spend more time in Sydney. Now he's bought a property here. And then David's got the grip on the Melbourne side of things. I'm just guessing, but he's got a few bases covered there. And they raced the Derby, and then obviously there was Regal Lion had a slow recovery there, and the first 3 just dominated. It's hard to talk about the race other than give the winner a huge rap, and can't wait for him to return. He's an exciting prospect.
Johnny Allen.
Exciting prospect.
Johnny Allen, 2 Australian derbies, 1 Queensland derby.
Yep.
4 South Australian derbies, 2 Victorian derbies, 2 Tasmanian derbies.
That's incredible. That is incredible.
He'd have to be
11 derbies. He's won 17 Group 1s in his career. And 17 in his career, 11 of them have been derbies.
That is big.
Those McDonald.
Yeah, why can't he? Why can't he? He's a terrific third-up performer. We all know that. Chris knows that. He preps him up to have him right for this race. That's why he's won it twice, and he's favourite here for his 3rd time to win in 3 straight. So, different tempo here at the 1200. I think...
Can you believe it? Eduardo number 2. Nashua Will Up, Joe Pride. They're meeting, by the way, for the 10th time today, Nature Strip and Eduardo.
Yeah, Nature Strip's probably got the wood on him here at Randwick at 1,200 metres. We've got to admit that, but he's a tough little nut to crack, isn't he? Be interesting to see what Nash does on...
This is a grand final horse, and Nature Strip has been backed accordingly. Around 35% of the hold, a very well-supported $2.30 favourite. Eduardo on the second line at $4.80. Mars Crusader, we know him so well at $6.50, of course, the Everest combatant, and yet... the second best backed runner in the race is the fan favourite, Shelby, 66 at $9. Paul Elliott, 14, Rockin' Horse at 17. 14, Rockin' Horse at 17.
It's the TJ.
They're ready to rumble in this year's TJ Smith Stakes. Stand by. They're ready to run. Racing now. And Eduardo jumped brilliantly from barrier 3. Shelby 66 away well. And Nature Strip is rolling forward, so it's on already. Eduardo leads from Nature Strip. The two big wigs running 1-2 in the early part, followed by Overpass, who's in a handy position together with Powlele. Masked Crusader trying to improve on the rails. Deeper out then is Rockin' Horse, followed then by Rule of Law. Shelby 66 drifting back now, followed by Count the Rupee, Bellucci Babe, and Zutori is the last one. Nature Strip takes the lead clearly at the 600 metres. He really went steady on Eduardo in second spot, and their dominant leaders coming to the turn from Overpass, Powlele, and out deep is Rockin' Horse. Shelby 66 gets onto his back, followed by Masked Crusader taking a rails run. Into the straight though, Nature Strip extends his lead on Eduardo, 2.5 between them, and they're well clear from the rest. Nature Strip at the 250, 2 lengths in front. The 8-year-old Eduardo's trying his heart out, but Nature Strip wants his piece of history today, and he's got it. Here's a TJ Trouble for the Sprint King. Nature Strip goes on to beat Eduardo. Powlele third, and wide up Bellucci Babe running fourth, just in front of Overpass. Then Satori from
At his absolute...
Wide up Bellucci Babe running fourth, just in front of Overpass. Then Satori from Shelby 66. A gap back to Rule of Law. Masked Crusader, Rockin' Horse, and Count the Rupee was last in. He's done it. Nature Strip.
3 TJ Smiths, and on every occasion there wouldn't have been a horse in the world who could have beaten him. The Nature Strip, who turns up for the TJ Smith for the 3rd year in a row, is unstoppable. He beats Eduardo, his sparring partner, but he's too good. Nature Strip first. There's Daylight second. Eduardo.
Why wouldn't he go and try and conquer the world now and then come back and have another crack at Everest? He's, like you say, he's been well looked after. He's a gelding. He loves being in work, and he's just enjoying himself at the moment. Eduardo's battled on well. Powlele runs well, along with the other 3-year-old Overpass, and she may have pinched fourth there, Bellucci Babe.
He's done at Chautauqua. Nature Strip has won his 3rd TJ Smith here at Royal Randwick at his absolute peak.
He just knows him so well, Chris, doesn't he? He just knows this horse like the back of his hand. Peaks him 3rd up, has to have the flat run in the middle, which we get used to, and then he gets him to 1,200 metres.
He's absolutely amazing, not only as a trainer, but like just... like you said, Ronnie, to peak him right at the right time, and you could tell even when I went in and spoke to J-Mac, even in J-Mac's voice, you could just...
It'll win.
Yeah, he just had no doubt whatsoever. Just electric yesterday.
Yeah, and the way he's got confidence in James, because he read the play again so beautifully. You know, everyone thought, oh, he's going to just sit on, you know, the girth of Eduardo. Eduardo was out aggressively, and then he just loves the outside barrier, this horse. It's just made for him. It's just made for him.
And you know, Nash is always a deep thinker. You know, you can see that. But yeah, I think he was a little bit dirty on himself that he never made Nature Strip work a little bit more. Yeah, he's definitely doubting the way that he rode the horse.
I don't think he should.
No,
I mean, slipstream, and you thought, well, you know, I thought he'd give him every possible. No, I don't think anything he could have done could have improved his position any more than what it did. So it was just a horse in the zone. His record speaks for itself. He's the 2nd highest earner in history in Australia now. With nearly 18 million in the bank. Eduardo, you could go home. He was brave as always. You'd go home proud of him again. The 3-year-old was pretty good. Powlele and Overpass both went well, and she's just doing some good things this preparation. Shelby, he pulled up 3 out of 5 lame, so he's obviously got...
It wasn't wet enough for him.
Yeah. He's jarred up maybe.
Yeah. 2 weeks between runs, see?
You can see him there. He's not right. He's hanging in.
Yeah.
And he was sore after the race. So
Everest defending his crown, and it also involves him going overseas.
Yeah. Well, it's just those races in Europe where they stack up and down the straight there, they're just ready-made for him. And it's time for him, it's been the passion of the owners, I think, to conquer the world, and he can do it in a couple of weeks now. And he is an 8-year-old.
Yes.
Let's face it, you might as well...
Not much time left.
If they want to do it, if he's sound and well, How's he going to get him third up into it?
Yeah, so, well, that's, you know what? I was to have Everest $4. Now the plan is to come back for the Everest via a trip on the plane. Classic Legend. Well, he's still there.
Got a bit aggressive yesterday. Oh, sorry.
I'm Thunderstruck in the Doncaster coming up. How's he come through his second placing in the All-Star Mile?
Yeah, he's fantastic. So the two races we wanted to win is the All-Star into the Doncaster, and I would say the only thing is not about...
3 consecutive Group 1s, 50 kilos on her back on this heavy track. Very hard to beat. Converge, I think, can bounce back from the last...
She beat Zaki in the Blamey prior to that.
All up to ride for Brad Widow.
Wouldn't it be a result for Fred if he could win on her and for Brad? She's a big-time performer. She's been terrific on the heavy in the past. Forgive last time. Can surprise. Would prefer the heavy 10 for her, though, but it's close enough to a 10, it won't matter.
Yeah, Ben and JD Hayes.
Not hard to get a tip for him from the Victorians. They say he could stride across here and get a little bit of ownership of this race, and he's got a very good winning strike rate, 6 wins from 12 starts, so we might undersell him here.
One of my favourite events, and I can't wait to see how Forbidden Love fares, because so many trainers I've had to chat to over the past few days and weeks have said, my horse is going well, but how about Forbidden Love? Down in the weights, the handicap has missed him, $3.20. I'm Thunderstruck, $5.50. Converge at $10. Banker's Choice at $8. 14 out to $19. Mr. Brightside, 15 out to 19 as well. Cascadian, wouldn't that be a story? 1, and even more the remainder. But Forbidden Love, $3.20 favourite and well supported.
Thanks, Ben. She'll go forward, Katie. I don't think she'll lead, but she'll...
Cascadian looking for back-to-back wins, and that mare on in a row. The Canterbury Stakes, the George Ryder and the Doncaster. I'm Thunderstruck is back to win a Doncaster.
There's the light. We're ready for the Star Doncaster Mile. Stand by for a series favourite, and the gates open now. They're off and racing. No speed by Inspirational Girl. She'll settle last, and Delsberg won the start from Converge. Going forward is Forbidden Love, and Just Focus slicing through as well. Then came Dalasan from I'm Thunderstruck, and Mr. Brightside on the improve. Lighthouse is cast pretty deep, followed then by Laws of Indices, who's improving on the rails. Then Kiss and All Four Cheeks on the inside of Ice Bath King Magnus. Deep out Banker's Choice, followed by Nemerian going up the fence in advance of Brutality. Then came Kiku from Skylab, Inspirational Girl, and last year's winner Cascadian settles last 16 lengths off the lead. Clark has the front here on Ellsberg, and the favourites running second, Forbidden Love. Looking for another Group 1, Converse, the 3-year-old third, the rails, followed by Just Folk, planted 3 deep on the outside of Dalasan. They're followed further back by Lighthouse and a wide path on the outside of Ice Bath, and then came Kiss and All Four Cheeks, the rails. They're followed further back by Banker's Choice as they come up to the home turn. A gap back to Private Eye from Numerian. They've got 550 to run, and it's Ellsberg being eyeballed by the mare Forbidden Love, and the favourite strides up big time on the outside. Then came Converge from Just Folk, Dalasan. I'm Thunderstruck is coming into the race as Forbidden Love races to the lead. At the 300, Forbidden Love a length clear. I'm Thunderstruck's the big danger. It's Forbidden Love 3/4 to I'm Thunderstruck. Working into the clear, Mr. Brightside from Ice Bar. Forbidden Love under siege. Mr. Brightside charged up. Mr. Brightside takes the lead. Ice Bath runs on. Mr. Brightside for the Hayes boys wins it. I'm Thunderstruck second. Ice Bath third. Then Forbidden
Well, surely...
Ice Bath third. Then Forbidden Love. Followed by Banker's Choice, Dalasan, Ellsberg, Cascadian late, followed by Lighthouse, Brutality, King Magnus, Laws of Indices, Inspirational Girl, Numerian, then Skylab, further back to Kiku, Converge, a gap back to Private Eye, and Kiss on All Four Cheeks.
Well, the famous name of Hayes lives on through Ben and JD. The brothers win their first Group 1 together. And who gives it to them? Craig Williams. Number 19, Mr. Brightside, has won the Star Doncaster. He's out muscled. I'm thunderstruck, and Ice Bath another placing in the
out on their own, and this is a huge result for them and a huge result for Victoria. They've run 1-2 here. The All-Star Mile proved the form. The horses that had the easy lead-up race on the better tracks and that certainly stood out here. He hit a flat spot for one side there on Thunderstruck, but I like the way he rallied. Ice Bath was great, and Forbidden Love had her chance. But a huge rate.
Well, when I'm Thunderstruck, as you'll see here, he just pushes Mr. Brightside straight out of the road, and you think, well, he's gone. And then you see Forbidden Love's half travelling but didn't quicken, and then you see I'm Thunderstruck. You're entitled to go the early crow about here, saying he's home.
He's put probably a length and a half on the winner.
Yeah, he seemed to float here, and then when Mr. Brightside went past him, he seemed to lift again through the line, and even Ice Bath, what she won, 4 million now. She looms up in another big race, but yeah, look, you can't take anything away from the winner. As you say, he sort of travelled in the right spot, but he didn't have the greatest run in the race. But that didn't matter yesterday with those heavy 9 conditions. Warrior Dallasan, he just keeps running well in these big Randwick miles. He was terrific again. Converged spells.
Cascadian got home good.
He was enormous. Look, like we were just saying how slow they're gone. Look at him back there.
Come from last, basically.
Second last. It's a tough work, and he's motored home, but it's probably the story of his life, although he did win this race last year.
Yep.
But, look at that there. It's amazing, that helicopter shot.
Little Ice Bath game in defeat again.
She was unbelievable.
Yeah.
No, she was terrific. And Freddie Kersley got fined $5,000 for whip use in that race as well on Ice Bath.
So what she's been placed in 2 Doncasters, a Golden Eagle, a Cantala.
And there might be more.
I'm missing one.
Yeah.
She's won, and the big race she won is the new race, the Invitation.
Yeah. That's
right.
4 million, mainly through big placings.
It's very frustrating.
But, a quick look through the record books, because that's what we went searching for about the Hayes name in the Doncaster. They're the first of the family to win a Doncaster. Colin didn't win one. David didn't win one. You would have thought they won everything else.
Yeah, like David's won.
They weren't the only good 2-year-olds.
No, there's been big talk about this Perth filly, Amelia's Jewel, who is undefeated in 3 starts. Some of the form experts will tell you her figures are better than Fireburn's, and she would have won the Slipper. That's easy to say, but boy, have a look at this. She's pretty good.
We're going to bring the call up. She's about to get to the outside. Those white armbands, red sleeves. Here's Darren McCauley.
Second Fiorucci, Mama down the outside, the roughie, Baby Paris, and now here's the favourite starting to wind up. Look at Amelia's Jewel coming. She's coming like a freight train. Amelia's Jewel from a mile back, cut them to pieces, races away, and goes home to score a magnificent win in the Karakata Plate. She remains undefeated now, the Siuni filly. Much too good. She's an absolute diamond. She's won it brilliantly from either Baby Paris.
Give her a slot.
Give her a slot.
Give her a slot. The X Factor.
The most impressive thing is Simon Miller's done this all on his own without us.
I know. Well, he brings her over here, and we can help him.
Well, obviously her future will be over here at some stage, because she just keeps beating up that group.
Yep, and like I say, they say the figures are there, the forms boys with the big computers, and she's got a turn of speed, and she looks strong.
And it's not easy to do at Ascot neither, come off the back of them like that. Only rode there a handful of times, but it's one of those tracks that obviously suits on-pace runners.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not easy to do to come from that far.
Yes, there are heavy tracks and there are heavy tracks. The unknown about how they handle a real deep heavy here today. If you've seen it out there, it's a slog for some of the 2-year-old fillies are about to compete for $1 million here in the Percy Sykes.
I really like number 3, Paris Dior. Maps a lot better for her here today. In the Millennium got
double figures has been well backed, and that is Wollonga Beast, and as a result we've seen that horse come into $5. So 15 the open, 7 into 5.
Charlie hits the button now, and they're off and racing in the feature for the filly. She's a belter, jump well together with North Star Lass. North Star Lass is showing good speed to race to a narrow lead from She's a Belter, Lady Laguna. Then came Paris Dior. John Darmbury on the improve, followed by Kin in the red cap and advance of Pantanario. Then came Willinga Beast, 3/4. Then on the inside to Oh High. 2 after Dashing Legend, followed by Magic Carpet, Swift Sweet. And Lady Percival's back at the rear of the field. The former Perth filly, She's a Belter, is really serving it up here to North Star Lass a long way out. Lady Laguna in third in front of the favourite Paris Dior. A length and a half to John Darmbury, followed by Kin, then Pantanario, Willinga Beast. And further back to Oh High, revved up, coming away from the rails. Into the straight, it's North Star Lass, She's a Belter. Lady Laguna strides up 3 wide. Paris Dior's going to go back for a run on the inside. Willinga Beast is cutting loose on the outside as Lady Laguna's pushed on now. Lady Laguna at the 250 races to the lead, but Willinga Beast is closing in. Paris Dior the inside. Willinga Beast got to a narrow lead from Paris Dior. It's Willinga Beast the outside. The favourite Paris Dior the inside. Paris Dior's going to Willinga Beast. Paris Dior, Willinga Beast. Paris Dior the favourite, won it just from Willinga Beast. Good gap back to either Pantanario or Lady Laguna for third. Then came North Star Lass from Magic Carpet and Kin. Gap back to Oh High from She's a Belter, who did plenty of work. Then Lady Percival, Swift Sweet, Dashing Legend, and John Darmbury was last in.
Paris Dior wins for the Snowdens. They're so good at it. Prepared.
He did it with style.
Well, they might have got stung there, the bookies. They made Paris Dior their lay of the day, and
the plan came off. She was too good for them.
She was, and it's a good effort because, you know, we know how tough it was yesterday, and she was first up, and she'd had, you know, she'd been well set up for it, and look, she was first up at 1,200 metres too, so a good effort to get her fit. They knew they had to get her fit considering the conditions we've had with the training tracks and whatever. She'd had a track gallop between races, 2 hard trials, and she dug in deep because Willinga Beast was coming to win, there's no doubt. She had momentum, and I thought she'd had the run under the belt, but she rallied. I love the way she got down low, put the ears back, and wanted the win. So
I also liked how, sorry Ronnie,
yeah,
I loved how James used it as babysitting.
Yeah, no doubt. So look, 2 nice fillies who've got lovely futures. And Lady Laguna was much.
Really impressed with the progress of Marzu this preparation since they've gelded him. He's looking to make it 5 in a row for this preparation, and I feel fairly confident.
Into 270, really solid. Powlili is $3.20 out to $3.70, and I Am Lethal for Bowman and O'Shea 18.
And the 4 of them are off fan racing here, and Marzu hopped out of the gates well, but it didn't take in the Congo long to muster, go through and join him and put the head in front. Palali will just drop in, and 2.5 to I Am Lethal. In the Congo leads at the 650 metres by a half length on Marzu. 2 lengths away to Paulali and Stewart. 2 lengths away to I Am Lethal as they race up to the home turn now. And it's in the Congo on the fence, leading narrowly from Marzu as they turn for home. 2 lengths away to Paulali is really revved up as they flatten for the run home. It's in the Congo, the inside of Marzu. 2 lengths away to Paulali, who's only grinding at the moment. Clipperton says, come on Marzu, put the head in front from in the Congo. Paulali 2 lengths away and he can't get there. Marzu's going great guns at the 100, 3/4 in front to win the Congo. And Marzu, welcome to first grade Marzu. There's another one, goes on to beat in the Congo. Palali third, and a big gap back to I Am Lethal.
Well, now it's time to start to talk about the big races for Marzu. The Snowden team
in the Congo, and Marzu, welcome to first grade Marzu. There's another one, goes on to beat in the Congo. Palali third, and a big gap back to I Am Lethal.
I don't want to pick Darren up, but it's welcome to first grade champ.
Yeah.
Okay? It's
He won't get the champ unless he gets the slot and wins.
That's exactly right. Now let's talk.
Save that one.
Let's talk about welcome to first grade champ. Give him a slot.
Yeah, why not? He's up and coming. He's 4 from 4 now as a gelding. He's turned the corner. you can always come back here and say, oh, geez, I wasn't competitive. It was walk and sprint, but boy, wasn't it a sprint.
He was never going to get beat.
That sprint home sizzled on anything we saw all day there yesterday. The fillies in the previous race, 1:14.44. Here they've run 1:14.49 here, similar time. They run 1:14.55 in the last, similar time, but the fillies come home 37.44. The Sapphire come home 37.62, 35.88. Yeah. When that was, no one was near that yesterday. That just shows you the sprint.
Congo wouldn't be out of place in Everest. Palele would have to be. Well, he was on the verge of being selected last time. They went with Trekking, but you know Palele's there.
He's got to be number one seed, as things are for Godolphin.
Has to be.
Yep, no better than the champ, very elegant, but you got light fingers, you can go right through that list. Some terrific fillies.
Your top tip this year is Gypsy Goddess. David Van Dyke to win his first Oaks, and she looks like a filly.
This year I was really impressed with the performance of Honey Creeper to win first up after a 6-week break in the Adrian Knox last Saturday, and also how tough Hinge was in defeat at Newcastle, but I've got a slight preference.
Okay, the Oaks, the 3-year-old staying fillies in action here, and they're in the yard, this mounting yard.
We concentrate on Randwick.
26 has drifted $1. El Patroness at 26 has drifted from $19 and 34 or more the remainder, with no noted firmers amongst them. I did give you the heads up earlier, but I'll do so again. We have a market open.
Commando Drift bowling there. Missed the kick a little bit as the gates open, and Velvet Lady is taken back towards the tail of the field. Jumping well, Gin Martini, and Gypsy Goddess away well. Gypsy Goddess, Gin Martini, and Hinged is poking through into a very forward roll. El Patroness will count fourth the rails. Then came Commando Drift on the outside of Biscayne Bay, and Morris Sentley in the oranges plonked down on the fence. Further back to Charity Spirit, moving up 3 wide, and Advancing Youthful, and then came Secret Glamour on the rails. A length the last one, working down the back section of the course, and Jim Martini is the front runner by a half length on Commando Drift. El Patroness is travelling pretty strongly in third. On the inside of Gypsy Goddess, then Charity Spirit on the 3 wide path from Morris Sentley. They're followed then by the favourite Hinged about midfield. Biscayne Bay next in the check cap, followed by Secret Glamour. Racing on the inside of Youthful, and Pink Ivory now 3 wide trying to improve as they start the run down the side of the course. Further back to Lavilli from Honey Creeper, and the last 2 Velvet Lady and Hope in Your Heart. 800 metres to run down the Oaks. It's Jim Martini and Commando Drift going stride for stride. El Patroness is looking for an inside run at this point, trying to improve. Gypsy Goddess peeling out, and Pike starts his run on the Queenslander, followed by Velvet Lady, Hinge, wide out Biscayne Bay. Then came Secret Glamour, then came Pink Ivory. Now Honey Creeper, Bowman's getting right to the outside as they come up to the turn. Jim Martini leads for home from El Patroness, has come off the fence to issue a challenge. Gypsy Goddess, the outside, is trying to sustain the run. 3 lengths clear from Hinge, and Honey Creeper gives away a big start as El Patroness of the 200 beat off Jim Martini. Gypsy Goddess is just grinding away. El Patroness going boldly with 100 metres to run. El Patroness extending the lead on Gypsy Goddess, and here's a big one in the Australian Oaks for El Patroness for Damien Lane. Won it easily from Gypsy Goddess. Jim Martini third, Hinge fourth, followed by Biscayne Bay, then Honey Creeper, followed by Lavilli. A gap back to Secret Glamour from Pink Ivory, then Youthful from Hope in Your Heart, Morris Sentley, Velvet Lady, Charity Spirit, and Commando Drift was last to finish.
El Patroness, Danny O'Brien. He won a derby with Sham Rocker, a filly, and now he's been able to win an Oaks. Damien Lane in the saddle. Danny O'Brien and Damien Lane. El Patroness, the Victorian, too good for the Queenslander. Gypsy Goddess, Pike and Van Dyke.
Issue beyond doubt, so no real excuses. Gypsy Goddess in the right spot all the way. Gin Martini on the speed all the way, and Hinge put herself in a good spot. Nothing happened from the back. Honey Creeper made some late ground, but that's a dominant win. Geez, he can get a stayer going. Danny O'Brien can't he? And he
the last 600 metres, 2.5 lengths of winning margin along neck, second and third. And this was a win for Danny O'Brien. He'd won a derby with Sham Rocker. Now he's got an Oaks Of course, Shamrocker was a filly winning the Derby. Here's his Oaks with El Patroness, and it was Damien Lane.
And how easy was this win?
It was never going to get beat.
Unbelievable. You wouldn't think it was a 25-to-1 chance.
Watched it through from probably about the 700, and it never lost the bridle for one stride. He's just a quiet achiever, Damien Lane. He's won all the big ones, bar the Melbourne Cup, and you barely know he's in the jockey's room, or you know he's in the race. He's a trouble-free rider. He never seems to find trouble, but just an absolute gun jockey.
He's a champion rider. I mean, we forget the success he's had in Japan and around the world, and we just take him for, look, a real on-pace race, wasn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4, pretty well the whole way. And Gypsy Goddess was ridden closest. She reacted nicely to it. Hinged, tried hard, had a chance. Gin Martini put herself on the speed and stayed well. But
Honey Creeper, I thought, was a good run. But
she was the best from the back, wasn't she?
Yeah, she was the only horse really all day in the Group 1s that made decent ground, that I thought.
Yeah.
Bred in 1862, and some good stayers have won it over the years.
Definitely have. Look at Mackay Diva there, Ty the Night, Kingston Town, you go right through there. But a bit of a different race this year. The weights, a lot of horses right down the bottom.
And you're with one. Like he did first Australian start to second. He's going to take some beating. No Compromise was exceptional, working early on a fast speed. Crystal Pegasus.
Cup, but I think Chris Waller's got the key players, in particular Surefire, and I see the market's really gravitating to him today. I love both his Australian runs. I thought Chalkstream's last effort at Rose Hill was outstanding, and the timing looks spot on there. And
but it's $7 the field. Stockman's been a noted drifter today, and unsurprisingly, I guess, with the track maybe improving a touch and that query over the 3,200. But $7 about Stockman and Crystal Pegasus. Knight's Order at $7.50, and Surefire there at $7.50 as well. In fact, it was to $8. But 4 female jockeys at the head of the market. I can't say I've ever seen that before.
Thanks, Ben.
And we're ready. They're off and racing now, and Crystal Pegasus has jumped out quite well together with the Chosen One. Going forward, there is no compromise. No compromise handy with Car Fever, Knight's Order, and Shiraz going up. Then Chalk Stream, Alakahan pretty handy from the Chosen One. They're followed then by Darshan Sweet Junior from Angel of Truth just off the speed. And as a result, Angel of Truth is pulling a little bit there. Surefire and LaBelle from Luncy's to Do's Dart, Stockman and Crystal Pegasus are the 2 favourites, a last and second last at the 1,400 metres, and it's Knight's Order running in the lead by length on Chalk Stream. In third is Shiraz, a length further back to No Compromise, then the Chosen One in South Pacific. Luncy's, the grey, is deeper out. They're followed then by LaBelle. Stockman still third last at this point as they start the run down the side, and well back is to Do's Dart. So they've got 800 metres to run now, and Knight's Order is the front runner by a length here on Chalk Stream, is being felt for in second as Knight's Order ups the tempo and gets a lot of these off the bridle a long way from home. Shiraz in third, No Compromise being roused along in fourth. They're followed after 2 lengths then to Carp Fever trying to improve. The Chosen One is back on the inside as they come up to the home turn, and it's Knight's Order a length and a half. 2 Shiraz is doing the chasing. Chalk Stream's had enough. Then came No Compromise from Darshan Sweet Junior. Luncy's coming into it. Stockman's a long way back with Crystal Pegasus. 300 metres to run. Knight's Order has gone for home. 2 lengths clear. Shiraz sticks to the task. It's Knight's Order. 2 lengths clear from Shiraz. They're the only 2 chances, but Knight's Order brave in the lead. Rachel King rides him right out. Knight's Order holding Shiraz. Darshan Sweet Junior goes to third, but Knight's Order will lead all the way in the Sydney Cup. Beat Shiraz given every chance. Darshan Sweet Junior a distant third. A good back gap then to Future Score from LaBelle. Then Carp Fever from Sweet Thomas, Crystal Pegasus, Stockman, Luncy's. Some of these have been beaten a long way. No Compromise, then Alakahan, Chalk Stream, Surefire, Angel of Truth, South Pacific. Oh, there's still more coming. A good gap back to Do's Dart, Tiger and the
Royalty, all right. It was Australian royalty. Gay Waterhouse and Adrian Bott have combined with Rachel King to win the Sydney Cup. Rachel King wins her first Sydney Cup and just her second Group 1 of her career, and she can...
And to get him, he's already a Brisbane Cup winner at 2 Mile. This is his 3rd attempt at it, and a seasoned horse, loves it wet, loves it.
And it was Knight's Order leading all of the way for Gay and Adrian And Rachel King, her first Sydney Cup and just her second career Group 1.
Yeah, amazing. And she rated this horse beautifully. We should have really realised by this stage it was a big advantage being on pace, and this was the only leader in the race, and he held all the aces and he capitalised on them. It's as simple as that. He ticked off every single box. A good mudlark, which didn't really, some of them didn't handle it yesterday, but he got into his rhythm. Rachel Quicken at the right time. He's a Brisbane Cup winner, proven at 2 Mile. And they tell me Rachel's mum was there yesterday to see her ride, I think for the first time in Sydney. She arrived on Friday, so that story was kept a bit quiet. And
there was royalty everywhere in Sydney yesterday. We had Kings
horses, and that's only the second wave there. There's another wave behind that pack. At the end of 2 Mile, it was a real test, but all honours with the winner. Second horse, he's a nice horse, Shiraz. He got galloped on too in the run, so whether you want to make an excuse for him there, you possibly can. Daquian Sweet Jr., he's been really good all the way through. He's been terrific. Going right through the year, really, running well. What do we want to say? Future Score was good, and La Boule was
a terrific win last week, and she's the one on the up. Would spiral clearly. Animo, an inch off winning a Cox Plate, beat Very Elegant that day. There's Montefilia next. What a race.
And Brad Dewis to beat. Also slot in there somewhere, but Dewis, Very Elegant, the champ. She always turns up grand final day. Zaki, great champ.
And look, most unlucky, but it proved one thing. She can get through heavy going. Her wins in the Australian Cup and at Newcastle last time were just mind-blowing, and there's every chance she could be the next superstar of racing here. So in this very competitive race, I'm going with Dewis. It's interesting, the mark
here in this theatre of the horse, it's all class.
All class, all class. There's some firecrackers here, and there's some good signs from a few horses which are...
Typical N Technology. Think It Over. Winner of $4.7 million in prize money. Nash Willer and Kerry Party.
Oh, he's a real firecracker. He's on his toes. He was jumping up in the air before, but that's just him. That's in his makeup. He's
back here today.
They certainly are. This is going to be an absolute classic. I can't wait to see who takes it out. Very Elegant is favourite, and she's hovered around this price pretty much the past week, but $3.60 as it stands. Animo at $4.20. Now, in terms of money held, Very Elegant is the best backed, about 42%, and then we drop back to Animo. It goes in market order from that point on. Zaki, $5. Dewis get over 34. This will be a great race. Let's see if Very Elegant can atone for those defeats in the past 2 years.
Thanks, Ben. Hot horse in
at the moment. I know we've got
Longines, Queen Elizabeth.
The Queen Elizabeth Stakes, $4 million. Stand by for a start. They're ready. And the gates are back now. And they're off and racing. Zaki's left well, together with Think It. Off and racing. Zaki's left well, together with Think It Over. And Montefilia is very handy, together with Dalasan. And Animo quickly speeds through, gets into 5th position. In advance of Very Elegant, then I'm Thunderstruck, Mount Popper. And Dewis has been snagged back to last. Jamie Carr's going to let Zaki run 2.5 lengths away to Dewis, who'll be about 7 or 8 lengths off the lead. So it's Zaki in front, leading by 3/4 to Think It Over. Dalasan leaders back third, and 1 out, 1 back, Montefilia. They're followed after 2 lengths then to I'm Thunderstruck, who's getting a pretty good run on the inside of the colt Animo. Further back to Very Elegant, who's about 6 off the lead on the outside of Mount Popper, and Dewis is right on the coattails of Very Elegant as they race inside the 1,000 metres now. And it's Zaki on top by a half length to Think It Over. Montefilia is travelling very strongly in third, followed by Dalasan. Then came Animo. Very Elegant moves up out wide from I'm Thunderstruck, Mount Popper, and Dewis once again keeping his powder dry, sits back last. They've got 600 metres to run, and it's Zaki in front by a half length to Think It Over as they start to really up the tempo now. I'm Thunderstruck's improving along the rails. Then came Montefilia. She's trying to pick up. Very Elegant getting wide. Dewis to the outside, and Mount Popper back to the rails, into the straight, and Zaki still in front. Think It Over's coming to the stand rail. This is interesting. Zaki in front. Think It Over coming down the outside fence, and they're well clear from the rivals at the moment. I'm Thunderstruck, Mount Popper making ground. Zaki in front. Think It Over. Can Nash get it home? He's coming right down the outside. Zaki in front. Think It Over. Down the stands rail. Lunges. Gets up. Think It Over. What a ride. Nash for Willer in spectacular style. Wins the Queen Elizabeth, running down Zaki. Mount Popper, I'd say, third from Very Elegant. Then Dalasan from Dewis.
It's a Robert.
Very Elegant. Then Dalasan from Dewis. I'm Thunderstruck. Montefilia. And a weakening out at the end, Animo.
Ride of the century, Nasrawilla. He came to the outside fence. He threw everything at Think It Over, and the horse who hates wet tracks has got up and won the $4 million Queen Elizabeth Stakes for Kerry Parker. Zaki will be second and Mount Popper third. Favourites nowhere.
Goodness gracious me. Who would have thought someone had to have a go? We thought earlier in the day when Abdullah was talking about the track that he might try it come late in the day, but it was Nasrawilla. No pressure on him at all, 40 to 1. A horse like Think It Over, and Zaki looked all over a winner when he walked up front there for most of the race. It wasn't a contest, and then Mount Popper's got into third and Dalasand's fourth. Who's got the first four here?
Corey, who's coming back, and this crowd will enjoy bringing Nasrawilla back because it was one of the great rides in Queen Elizabeth history that we've just seen here today.
Our plan was to go forward, and I didn't care if he snuck away at the 1,000, you know. But Nash had gone to the inside on one earlier, and went, yeah, that's no good there. So he's obviously thought, well, we'll go to the outside this time, and what a thrill, you know.
So what was discussed about that tactic beforehand, seriously?
Not so much to go to the outside. That was Nash on his own, you know. But the plan was always to make sure this was generally run. If the option was to go out there positive and let the horse do the work, just rely on his guts and will to win.
It was a very, very, very heavy track there yesterday, boys, but we got through it. We got there in the first place.
I think it's as heavy as I've ever seen. Yeah. You know, the last few weeks has been amazing. The track's played well. The right horses have won. But yesterday it was tired. It was tired. The wet trackers were being pulled out of the race. There's 3 or 4 of them on the day that just couldn't pick their feet up. So I don't think that form we can trust too much going into the future. I think it was just a final day.
Something big happened.
What about this? We will be talking about this for a long time. And in a big grand final like this, and he was so brave for Nash. Well, I suppose it's a lot easier to do when you're on a 40 to 1 chance.
Yes.
If he would have done it on an even money chance and hit a bit of quicksand out there, they'd still be talking about it another 20 years, the one that got away.
Yes.
So it's easy to give him all the raps now.
It could have been a Shane Diving and across moment if it would have been a favourite.
100% right.
Yeah.
Corey, nothing to lose for Nash to do this. There was nothing to lose.
Nothing to lose and everything to gain. Like he said, he actually hadn't gone out and walked it. I thought Nash had gone and walked it, but he said, no, I just done the assessment when he was going to the barriers, the race before. He said, I trotted down the outside fence to have a bit of a look, and he said it was just so much better out there. He said, I'm not sure what runs along there, where it's the gator or something like that, but he said there's a couple of tyre marks out there where he's going to help the horse.
Geez, you've got to give the second horse credit. He was second up on a testing track, and he had a beautiful run in front and rated beautifully. But Jamie said she could have eyeballed the other horse, he would have found more. So you've got to give him credit. He's a ripper.
I wonder when she
came here, and then all of a sudden, hello, what's this? She might have thought it was the ambulance down the outside, but. Amazing.
What about, let's talk about these back markers, the big 3 in Animo, Very Elegant and Dewis, who were out the back and they couldn't go.
It was hard to make ground on the day. It was as simple as that. It was just tough going, you know, really, really tough going. And I think, like I said, once in a lifetime track for these horses, and I just think we're going to be so forgiving, you know, of everything that finished back in the field here. They just didn't handle it. It's as simple as that. Mount Popper, he's even, you know, he was 150 to 1 chance, but he's probably the best wet tracker in the race. He's plugged into third there, and Dalasand, he's just an honest horse who's picked up another big check in his own right. But
Very Elegant. I just didn't like how her head carriage from about the half-mile home. I thought J-Mac and...
Dissect this as much as we like, but you just got to be very forgiving because we're not going to have these conditions again.
No. All right, well, let's go.
Time and what? We're just trying to keep him in clear ground, and then I thought he was going to run a good second, and then he hit that fresh patch of grass, and away he went.
What did you think when Zaki had a cheap, easy lead for Jamie Carr? What did you think when she let skip at about the 600?
Well, I was still knew I was in the race because I hadn't really had to feel for him. I sort of had him. Well, I still had him a bit on the bridle, but
I knew he was going to give, you know, and he's just that sort of horse. You know, even the time before, and it was wetter, he's probably got beaten 2 lengths behind the great mare. So, you know, just what a wonderful job they've done with this track to not just be racing, but to give it a bloke like mine a chance to win him.
Jamie Karzaki, I'm in Montefilia.
Too good, Nash. Too good.
Tommy Berry Adamo.
Yeah.
What else could you do but sum it up as, forget about what my horse did, Too Good Nash.
Too Good Nash, that explained everything.
Just on Nash, he used the whip on 8 occasions prior to the 100 and in total 20 strikes, which is more than the total number of strikes permitted under the rule. So his licence was suspended from the 17th of April to the 1st of May, and he was fined $40,000, the highest infringement ever handed out.
Sounds a lot. Sounds a lot, but obviously he's had prior.
Yeah.
He's had priors.
Well, he was fined $20,000.
Obviously he's had prior.
Yeah.
He's had priors.
Well, he was fined $20,000 in the Everest.
Yeah.
On Eduardo.
Yeah, so obviously they go.
Colette, she's just such an outstanding mudlark who ran back into decent form last time out, and I think she's going to be hardest to beat in this company. Of the others, I think Lighthouse has the ability to race forward and put us.
Sure has, Darren. The 9th, the Sydney's Queen of the Turf Stakes, mounting guard brought to you by Harvey.
I think Brenton Abdullah's had that in his mind pretty much all day, that he's going to get out there on Fangirl. Just really love this horse. She's terrific.
Earlier on saying this is a good rendition of the race, and I absolutely agree with you. I found it hard to sort of really pinpoint one of them, but I thought Lalude looked excellent in the yard, and at the double figure odds she can have something on her. And hopefully
having a look at the surroundings, Anna Visto's getting a little bit up on her toes, but she's pretty switched on. James has just cruised.
Tony won the Bendigo Mile. I just think there's a real X factor about this mare. I don't like Barrier 1 a great deal, but I'm going with her, Yonsei, and hope that she runs a mighty race.
Thanks to...
And they're off and racing. Fangirl in the second half of the field early, and Vangelic jumped well together with Anna Visto. Lighthouse away well, moves up into a clear third at this stage, followed by Nimmerly improving from Barbreda. They're followed very deep out to Lude rolling forward on the outside of Promise of Success, the Yonsei of the rails. Quantum Mechanic just drifting back through the field now on the outside of so it's Anna Visto in front by 3/4 to Vangelic at the 1,000. Lighthouse gets into a terrific spot on the outside of Nimmerly. They're followed after 2 lengths, then to Lalude on a 3-wide path on the outside of Barbreda. Then the unbeaten Melbourne mare Yonsei back on the rails. 2 lengths further back in the field to Promise of Success, then Never Been Kissed. Quantum Mechanic 3D. A length and a half then to Ice Bath, followed by Colette. And McDonald starting to feel for the favourite a long way from home. Steinem second last, and Fangirl sees them all. They've got 550 metres to run. Anna Visto leads up from Vangelic. The Lighthouse has had a good run, peeling 3 wide. Nimmerly back to the inside. Yonsei scraping paint. Further back to Lalude, Ice Bath. Colette's dropped out to last coming up the rise. Anna Visto running about under pressure, and Nimmerly's coming off to throw down the challenge. And Nimmerly draws level with Anna Visto. 2 lengths clear from Vangelic. Then came Ice Bath running on well. It's Nimmerly getting the upper hand from Anna Visto. 3 lengths to Ice Bath, but Nimmerly is starting to extend clear with the Queen of the Turf, and Nimmerly gets a quick one today. Goes on to beat Anna Visto. Ice Bath third, followed in by Yonsei. A gap back to Promise of Success from Vangelic, Never Been Kissed. A gap to Steinem. Lighthouse dropped out from Barbreda. Quantum Mechanic. Big gap back to Lalude and Fangirl. She's hated the heavy today, and well, Colette never ever got out of first gear.
Nimmerly, number 6, $30.10 and $6.30. Damien Oliver, another Group 1 victory. In fact, for Ollie, that is 127 in an amazing career. For Matt Smith... Matt Smith had won 4 Group 1s prior to this, but never won in Sydney. They'd all been in Victoria. 3 with Fierce Impact and 1 with Hurdle Myrtle. This was his Sydney Group 1, so he went to 5, and Oliver went to 127.
Yeah, amazing. She's been a really good, honest mare, and she travelled beautifully, obviously, in the conditions yesterday and deserved a win. So I thought Anna Visto did a really good job first, well, at the mile, or testing mile, which I thought she may just struggle with, but she didn't throw it away at all. Ice Bath, well, there she is another big placing, and she had to come from back in the field. One of only a few that did it on the day. And like I said, there's horses there that love the wet. Look at Colette, one of the best wet trackers in the land. She can't pick her feet up.
Get out of her own road.
Got to be 40 lengths. So what can you say? The talk was that Damien went past George Moore and all this records. Everyone's got different records these days because obviously they've counted up.
Brenton Avdella, Fangirl.
She just struggled in the ground. I was beaten on the way up.
Jace McDonald, Colette.
No, I just wasn't in the mood.
Wasn't in the mood.
He wasn't, or she wasn't?
No, she wasn't. She wasn't. And I think there might have been a slow recovery.
Would have been something. A rough day.
Has anyone found another sire to have sired 3 Group 1 winners on the same card?
No. Someone may come up with one. I can't think of it.
No. It might be a worldwide search we need to go on.
Yeah.
But So You Think produced 3 Group 1 winners. Oh, by the way, just back to...
Last time out, Sam Clipperton aboard. And Tricky Gal moves forward. Tricky Gal with the and they're off and racing now in the last year at Randwick, and jumping quite well was Marbusha, Minhaj, and Pandora Blue is showing good muster on the rails, and Pandora Blue will go up and join Marbusha. Bella Nipotina will settle in third. Bellucci Babe on the improver, getting up on the inside of Emanate, and Minhaj just drifting back, and Fling sees them all. Pandora Blue extends the lead now, approaching the 600 metres by 3 lengths on Marbusha. A length and a half then to Bella Nipotina, followed by Wonderbar improving on the inside of Bellucci Babe. Then came Emanate. Minhaj is pulling deeper out from Majestic Shot. Ruby Tuesday. More Secrets. Tricky Gal. Nicky's Fling last. Pandora Blue comes to the middle of the track now at the 375. Wonderbar goes up the inside of Bellucci Babe. Is still being cuddled. Marbusha wide out, and Bella Nipotina. Clark getting into Bellucci Babe now. She's starting to left, but they're coming from everywhere. It's Bellucci Babe just in front of Wonderbar. Bella Nipotina, Marbusha. It's Bellucci Babe in front of Bella Nipotina. Tricky Gal charging home along the rails. Bella Nipotina and Tricky Gal. Bella Nipotina's won the last. Bella Nipotina from Tricky Gal, who went right up the blind side and almost pinched it. Bellucci Babe third, followed in by Wonderbar. Then came Majestic Shot from More Secrets, Marbusha, Minhaj, Pandora Blue, Nicky's Fling, Ruby Tuesday, and Emanate. Didn't beat one home here today.
Well, that changed all the way down the straight. Who was going to win that? It was Bella Nipotina up on the inside. The two that were travelling were Bellucci Babe and Wonderbar. Tricky Gals darted up on the inside. Bella Nipotina came down the centre. McDonald extends her head to the line, and Bella Nipotina will win by neck over Tricky Gal, Bellucci Babe and Wonderbar in the last.
Well, she got to 1,200 metres today, and she gets the job done. Third up, well timed. She comes out of 2 Group 1 races into a Group 2 and gets the job done from what could have...
Race. We haven't even played race 1 yet. We're playing race 10.
Yeah.
Race 10, Bella Nipotina in the Sapphire Stakes. Beating Tricky Gal. It was almost a big end of the day for Matt Smith, and Bellucci Babe for last race Bjorn. Last race Bjorn became after the last race Bjorn again.
Exactly. Just got into a beautiful, stalking position. She was out of a couple of Group 1 races. The 1,200 metres suited her at the right time, and Tricky Gal may have been a little bit unlucky. She's just maybe more unlucky because she probably wants 1,400 rather than 12. So what could have been there for Matt? Bellucci Babe, honest again, and Wonderbar just back from the 1,500. She was good. So, yep, a deserved win by a nice mare.
Yeah. Thanks, Nigel.
No, thank you. Thanks a lot.
Race number 3, the ACY Securities Frank Packer Plate over 2,000 metres.
This winner. He looks a horse on the rise with a big future. Hopefully the 2,000 metre race the bias won't be as bad as the first 2 races, because I don't think there's a stopping point with the bookies wanting to lay this horse considering the pattern. Just out there leading the charge to be top odds this favourite.
And the gates are back now, and they're off and racing in a very good level line out. Field Legend and War a Turtle are both pushing forward together with Raging Bull. Morris is me dad. Devil Races, Murray not far away. They're followed then by just behind the Speed 2 Verona on the inside of Bon Vivant. And now going right around the field at this point is Lukey Luke Lukana Kerr. Then came Bon Vivant and Straight Aaron inching closer in a 3-wide position. And James McDonald with every stride just allows him to get a little bit closer. That's Paternal well back on the inside in the white jacket on the inside of Inverella as they lead the back and go inside the 1,000-metre mark, and it's Morris as me dad a length clear from War a Turtle. Jalmari gets a good run into a third, followed by Lukey Luke off the course, then Raging Bull, Field Legend, Verona. Further back to Devil Racer. Straight Aaron about fifth last now from Anna Kerr. A length to Bon Vivant. Deeper out in Varela, and Paternal is last of all. So Morris will be dad at the 600 metres, ups the tempo now. 2 lengths clear from War a Turtle, and Joe Murray being pushed along on the inside, starting to pick up. Then Lukey Luke, Field Legend. Straight Aaron's very deep turning for home and trying to get into the picture now as Morris is me dad opens up with a 3-length lead on Joe Murray going to second, and Straight Aaron's the deepest coming into the race. It's Morris is me dad 2 lengths clear from Joe Murray, running on well as Verona behind them, then Straight Aaron coming into it. Morris is me dad. Verona's come through with a very strong run, and Verona charges to the lead of the 150. The favourite's in a lot of trouble to get there, Straight Aaron. He's running on well, but running out of time, and Verona's drawn clear, and Verona win the Frank Packer plate. Morris is me dad clung on to second in front of Straight Aaron, and a gap back to Paternal. Then came Anna Kerr from Raging Bull, Bon Vivant late. Jamari didn't see out the distance. Then came Devil Racer, a gap to War Eternal from Field Legend. Lukey Luke did plenty of work and clocked right off at the end. Last in was in Burrell.
Stepped their horses up in distance. This is another beautiful ride. He rode the track beautifully from a little bit of a sticky draw, and he found the fence Willie, and they went hard, and he just presented us straight through the inside here, and good win. No, look, we're going to Adelaide Oaks coming up in a couple of weeks, and we've got Brisbane, some lovely fillies races in Brisbane. She'll probably head there considering where she is in her preparation. Morris is my dad, he stuck on. Straight Aaron's the horse we're going to talk about. You know, he was just the bias beat him.
Bias beat him, that's all it was, yeah. He's an amazing horse, I reckon. It's just a shame the track raced the way that it did. And obviously it turned a little bit towards the latter part of the day, but I think that was because of the tempo related, you know, like everyone worked the track out and they went a bit quick, but again...
You know, 57's really where it all started. That was the first Golden Slipper. Both the Champagne and the Sires go back to well into the past century. Richo...
It certainly is, and he can handle wet tracks. We've seen that.
Piero was the last horse to be able to get that victory in 2012. Looking at her, she hasn't really changed much at all. She's an out-and-out 2-year-old. She's one that doesn't have really good muscle definition. There's no reason today why she can't go on with it. She's got that head arch. She's got really good muscle definition. There's a lot to like about her as far as her...
After the size, he immediately said, right, so I need to make up a length and a half. And that's been his attitude the whole way along. He's always been keen on She's Extreme, and there are a few punters in her camp as well, but most of them, as you would expect with Fireburn. There's a little bit of specking for Let's Roll the Dice, who's hit the line well.
The Champagne Stakes, the final leg of the 2-year-old Triple Crown. Can Fireburn do it? Here's Darren Flindell.
And they're off and racing. Let's Roll the Dice was last out, and the others have jumped out quite well. She's Extreme being sent forward together with Wealthy Investor on the rails, but Barry continues to go forward here on She's Extreme, allows her to roll on and take the lead now. From Wealthy Investor, count the headlights. Oh, down the side, She's Extreme in front by 3/4 of a length to count the headlights, and a length off to Wealthy Investor. Yes, he's off the fence, one out, one back on Fireburn. Then Williamsburg is looking to improve on the rails, a half length away to Let's Roll the Dice inside the 750 metres, and She's Extreme running along. A length clear can count the headlights. 2 after Wealthy Investor, followed by Fireburn the outside, Williamsburg the inside, and Let's Roll the Dice is right on the coattails of the favourite as they come up to the home turn. And She's Extreme tries to kick. Abdallah lit the match on Fireburn, giving chase. She's Extreme 3 lengths clear from Fireburn, who's whittling down the margin. She's Extreme 2 lengths clear from Fireburn. Abdullah really has to get busy now. She's Extreme inside the 200. A length and a half clear from Fireburn. She's trying. She's Extreme still in front. Fireburn lifting late. She's Extreme clinging on from Fireburn, and She's Extreme flips the result this time. She's Extreme wins the Group 1 Champagne Stakes by a half length to Fireburn. A big gap back to Williamsburg. Then Let's Roll the Dice, Wealthy Investor, and Count the Headlights flicked off last.
Well, Fireburn has met her Waterloo. She's Extreme. Tommy Berry and Anthony Cummings have won the Champagne Stakes and denied another filly of a Triple Crown. She leads all of the way. She's Extreme.
Yeah, look, the track was obviously it had enough. It's had enough.
Yeah.
It's it was beaten up bad there yesterday, and we had to live with it. It was on pace, in close, heavy 8. That was, I think it was a little bit worse than that. So, look, we got through the day. We've got through.
The 8-metre rail was no good to Nash yesterday, and that was the biggest talking point of the day.
Well, it's natural. Bias tracks cause interference, especially inside bias, because everyone, when you got 2 lanes for horses to get...
All the talk pre-race was about Fireburn and whether she could complete the Triple Crown and become just the 7th horse to do so. Anthony Cummings and Tommy Berry had other ideas, and when we picked them up around the turn, She's Extreme is off and gone.
Yep, and I think it was a day that we could talk about every one of these 10 winning rides individually, and it was a day of good rides, but this was the cream of the crop. This took guts. No guts, no glory. He'd give her a beautiful rest for half the race and then push the button, and that works so often when you see jockeys do that. Sometimes you can wait too long to quicken and they're on top of your corner.
It was just a good smart ride. Like, Tommy obviously knew that Brenton near pressure, took her out of a comfort zone. It was a shame that Brenton didn't draw 1 where he could have followed the winner.
100%.
Yeah.
And, you know, because obviously Wealthy Investor, who did draw 1, just took that spot away.
Correct.
And made things very, very awkward as far as the way we were trying to read the race, how it would happen, become a 2-horse race. But it was all advantage to Tommy Berry and She's Extreme, I must say. Outdoor sport, and we've got to put up with that. They knew that going into it. They had probably had a plan, and it didn't work out. In saying that, Fireburn did run the fastest last 600 of the day. So there's nothing wrong with her performance.
No.
Just a brilliant ride, great tactical ride, and gets the job done, which you
maybe a consolation in the car stakes. Here's Darren.
Group 3 feature for the fillies, and the gates open now. They're off, and the Lady Luck jump brilliantly. Brilliant being sold up in the early stages together with Capistel, and Banana Queen jump well and is going to park in 3rd as Capistel holds the front. Dalcini a distant 4th early in advance of Comrade Rose. Then came the favourite Espiona, 3 lengths behind her. They start the run to the corner, and Capistel narrowly in front from the Lady Luck. Then Banana Queen from Dalcini. Comrade Rose are being joined now the outside by Espiona. 2.5 further back to Party for One Dynasties, and Festival Dancer still back last of all. Capistel leads from the Lady Luck turning for home. Dalcini moves up 3 wide. Espiona gets onto her back. Then came Banana Queen. Comrade Rose is all bottled up on the inside. Further back to Dynasties. Party for One down the outsiders. Espiona moved up now, and the favourite takes the lead with Dynasties giving chase a length off to Party for One. But Espiona starting to open up the shoulders now, and she's drawn right away. Dynasties Party for One fight out the miners, but Espiona very strong. Sit and steer for James McDonald. Stand and cheer if you're on. Espiona panel them from Party for One and Dynasties. A good gap back to Festival Dancer, Comrade Rose, and No Luck the inside. Further back to Banana Queen, Dalcini, Capistel, and the Lady Luck.
Espiona's been able to do what no horse has been able to do here today, and what a dash she showed, Ronnie. She went over that ground easily.
Did she? Well, justice prevailed. A little bit closer in the run today, nice and fresh. And
as I said, she's still pretty immature. She came into the autumn with only having 2 race starts, so she'll go to the spring a pretty confident horse now and ready to bounce to that next.
Just sitting in the wings, waiting, hoping that the tracks would dry out, and it got to a point where Chris Wallace said, we've got to go.
And Look, that was much better. We know she's very talented. We expected probably too much from her, from what she did in the spring. She's getting a little filly, little mare, little filly then. And
I honestly thought she might have lost her way a little bit.
Yes.
Until yesterday, and then she just confirmed that she's a really, really good horse.
Yeah. I think she'll be better in the spring as well, because she's, you know, look, she's not the finished article yet, but she has got an explosive turn of speed.
Did any horse get over the track better than her yesterday?
No, probably not, and we were worried about her heavy track forms leading in, but I think it was more so that she'd just given them too much start in those big races. You know, they're hard races to give 10, 20 length start in.
Fangirl, like early on in the preparation.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. So it's nice to have her back. We can look forward to her. We know she reacts well in the spring, and she's been carefully handled. That's only her 6th start. So they're back in business now. I want to follow...
Often racing, and Big Parade was one of the first into stride, jumping quite well. Trumbull and Fatus is pretty handy. So Paris to give the favourite a real dig up here to hold the other two out. Counter Rupee's right there inside Kementari in a gap to Gem Song. She's just lost a little bit of ground and has come off the bridle. Abdullah's really nudging her along. Then came Kementari staying on the fence as they turn, and it's Big Parade. 2 in front now to Trumbull with 350 metres to run. Counter Rupee's running into it well. Then Fatus, and Kementari's hugging the fence and pinching ground. Big Parade in front. Counter Rupee has come off to throw in a challenge. It's Big Parade and neck in front to Counter Rupee, and Kementari is scraping paint. If he gets through, he might go close. Counter Rupee hits the lead. Counter Rupee from Kementari. Kementari's flying. Got up. Oh, big win, Special K. Kementari got there to beat Counter Rupee. Big Parade third, then Gem Song for Toos. Further back, Sonore Fox and Trumbull. Look at this.
Oh, my God.
Look at this.
It is unbelievable. Well, 1 week he's on the outside fence scraping paint. Today he's on the inside fence doing just the same.
I wonder what the stewards are going to have something to say about that. They don't sort of like that. But Nash, he just gets full marks again today. That wouldn't have won without the ride. And
Ronnie, I don't know whether Nash could cop another. He was determined. He wasn't going to. Once he said, "I'm going for the run,"
there was no stopping.
There was no stopping him.
No, there was.
Take us through. I suppose, Corey, you've been in that situation when you're committed to the run, and it doesn't look as clear as it once did.
once you put your head in there, you don't stop.
Here he is. Here's Nash.
It looked like the run was sort of vaping right up for me, and obviously Josh, when he has started to shift out, quickly corrected, wanted to be in the same lane, and didn't mess you for striving.
I thought you were going to nap on the inside of the inside.
He's back, Kementari, and Nash Rawiller went where not too many jockeys would go.
Yeah, Nash is funny. You know, moments before the race, he said to me, James, you know, he's really flying this horse. And I said, yeah, Nash, I'm training the horse. I know he's flying. But
yeah, look, obviously the rules were broken, but it was still unreal theatre, I must say. We can laugh about it, but he did break the rules. He paid the price. I think the stewards did a pretty fair job, and he may have even got out a little bit light.
I thought he got off a little bit light, especially, you know, again, I don't want to be rude to Nash, but his record, building up to it, you know, like his record's not great. But, yeah, I thought he got off light. But once you commit as a jockey like that, if you're in there, you don't stop.
No.
And that's sort of the unwritten rule, but it was very dangerous where he was going. But
well, this is where he gets in trouble. Now you decide whether there was a run there. Nash says there was. The steward said there definitely wasn't.
He was anticipating one, and once he just thought, hello, get me head here. He said, oh no.
Yeah.
And then he said, I've got to keep going.
Yeah, I think he thought when Josh went for the whip, because there was probably 3/4 of a run there, and then when Josh went for the whip, instead of the horse naturally rolling out that extra half a horse, which Nash anticipated, it didn't. It actually went back to the fence.
And now evidence in the room that jockeys have to anticipate. Now, it didn't. Big Parade didn't do what Nash thought it was going to do, and the steward said you went where there was insufficient room, and they issued a careless riding charge, he was already out from today until May 1, and now he gets another 2 weeks on top of that, 7 meetings. So he gets back on for the Saturday Scone card. Why would you retire him now?
Well, the old farm there, you know, the old Woodlands farm, they remember they had them old 10-year-olds Flavour and horses like that winning when they're 10 and 11 in carnival meetings. He's going to be a horse like that, and they're stable. They like to be in the stable. What do you want to banish him?
After his first couple of runs, he really understood what it was all about. It all fell into place for him, and yeah, he's been a real relaxed customer. And I guess that's what separates those good colts, isn't it? Yeah, they've got that great constitution.
Race number 8. This is the Group 1 Schweppes All-Age Stakes over 1,400 metres at weight for age in the Mounting Yard.
We're talking $4.40 the field now. In the Congo holds favouritism, but that's not to say that'll be the case come the jump. I guess punters are weighing up what's happening with this track as well. So looking for the speed horses, looking for the horses that might find that rail. In the Congo, we know will go forward. So too maybe Forbidden Love given back to Fane. I just had a chat to one of the owners actually, and he said they're going to have to go forward. They have no option. So 13 or more the remainder, but the majority of the money is with Mwanga. Beyond that, there is some support for Forbidden Love in the Congo.
Metres and the gates open, they're off. Missing the start, Cascadian off the inside, and in the Congo, Jump Fast. So did the other 3-year-old Overpasses going up underneath. Forbidden Love is poking forward out deep into a very prominent position, and Ellsberg will take hold in 4th, followed by Tofane out deep. Then came Moto from Shout the Bar. Laws of Indices in the second half of the field now, 2 lengths clear from Mwanga. Then came Zuturi. Cascadian's taking an inside run. Further back to Sierra Sue, Hungry Heart. At last year's winner, Colding is bottled up on the inside last. In the Congo holds the lead of the 800 metres from Forbidden Love. Tofane caught 3 deep at a final start at the races in 4th. Then came Overpass. Ellsberg next, followed by Shout the Bar. Then came Olmedo and the white cap from Mwanga, and Laws of Indices in between runners. Further back to Cascadian from Zuturi, Sierra Sue, Colding as they come up to the turn, and Hungry Heart is being ridden up last of all into the straight now, and Forbidden Love in the centre. Tofane the outside. In the Congo trying to fight back. Ellsberg still with cover, about to come off heels. Overpasses starting to try and slice through. Cascadian needs a run desperately as Tofane, chasing her second success in the race, gets 2 lengths clear. Cascadian, those coming to rain on the party. It's Tofane in front. Cascadian with the big white face right over the top. Cascadian wins the All-Age Stakes. Ran down Tofano with Ellsberg 3rd. A gap back to Laws of Indices, then Zuturi. Further back to Mwanga. Hungry Heart with late headway. Further back to Overpass from Almedo. In the Congo, Forbidden Love. They both got very tired. No pickup from Mwanga. Further back to Colding, Shout the Bar, and Sierra Sue.
A Doncaster winner can add an all-age stakes to his record. The baldy face of Cascadian came rushing down the outside to give this juggernaut.
Trucked up, and this second mare was just so brave. Wide, no cover, chasing that hot speed, going for home early. She deserved a better fate to go out on Tofane. She was unbelievable there. Ellsberg's run well. And
number 9. Tofane, Mike Moroney and Mark Zara. She bows out from racing. She's retired now, having run 2nd in an all-age after winning one. And 3rd home, number 4 all-age stakes to his career for James Cummings.
Yeah, and talking about rides again, I mean, the barrier one was the winning move here. By this stage of the day, everyone knew where you had to be, and they overdid it.
Yeah.
So that's where he got into a rhythm, and he got moving, and they opened up for him, and you know he had the rails in run the whole way, and then just got
a little bit concerned at the start because he didn't muster speed.
He doesn't do that. Yeah. It's a habit of his.
Yeah.
But he certainly relished the speed of that race and the conditions on offer.
Yep.
Unbelievable, the second horse. By far the run of the day, and should have won. She was 3, 4, then 5 deep, no cover the whole way on a day like that, and then was stranded in front when the good horses stopped. She took over and was left in front with 300 metres to go. Look, I understand she went back to the better part of the track, but that was an amazing performance from Tofane. And
retirement now, yeah?
Yeah, well, in your column tomorrow, you can't make that the run of the day because obviously that's designed to find future winners.
Yes, yeah, but
that's null and void.
Yeah, I did make the forgive file though, because she was a massive run there yesterday, and she's been a terrific mare for the connections. And Ellsberg, he was as honest as he always is, and what do you want to say? You know, law of indices, he's ready to go on the dry, but all honours with the winner of the ride and the way the race set up for him.
Lewis Tefane spoiled Parada's final run.
That's right.
Parada was going for the All-Eights. Last run, Tefane, and then she happened to her.
And that All-Star Mile form stood up again there, stood up at the Doncaster and the All-Age, so that's been a good lead-up for them 2 big races here, that's for sure.
There drops in weight, 21 into 18, but this last 2 minutes, a massive push for Ayrton. Now $3. I think it starts with the 2 in front.
20th spin around the Caulfield 1400 for the great.
The Ned's Victoria handicap. 16 to run, the field set, racing at the 1400 metres. Karma Lass a little bit slow with Dr. Drill and Skyman. Streets of Avalon jumped away quickly and led, followed by Ayrton second. Pole on the outside, Superium just behind them. Bermudez forcing, fooking off the rails at the 750, led Streets of Avalon by 3/4 of a length. A length Bermudez, and then came in for Lock and Ayrton fifth the rails. A length away to Poland, followed by Superium, and they were followed by in between horses I Am Superman. Kiss on All Four Cheeks next, and then Carmelas, Exalita, Arameo, Skyman, High Stranger, Foxy, Frida, Dr. Drill. Coming up to the corner, 450 out at Streets of Avalon, Imperial Lad by a length and a half, Bermudez. Ayrton is travelling okay, needs a run. Superium behind him, Poland to the middle, then I Am Superman. Kiss on All Four Cheeks is winding up wider, and they were followed by Exalita. Streets of Avalon at the 200 metres led. Ayrton's got a run, Poland. Exalita down the outside with Kiss on All Four Cheeks. Ayrton with 100 metres to go goes to the front from Exalita, but Ayrton the class, and Ayrton won the Victoria handicap from a photo. Exalita, Streets of Avalon for fourth, Kiss on All Four Cheeks and Skyman prominent, followed by Superium. Then came Poland, Dr. Drill, High Stranger, Foxy, Free.
Ayrton returns with some sort of performance to put them away in the Group 3 Victoria handicap. It's been a launching pad race for many a Group 1 galloper over the years, of course. We remember Streets of Avalon winning it back in 2019 and know his deeds since then. He was gallant this afternoon, but there's no reason Ayrton can't put himself up alongside the Debriefs, the Regal Rollers, the Roman Archers, the Smoke and Joeys, and the Blackheart Barts perhaps is a horse that's even better. Streets of Avalon pretty tough again along the fence. Looks like he's probably going to lob in a third alongside Exalita. They're fighting out that photo for second and third. You can see there. Streets of Avalon, once again, tough at his 20th Caulfield 1400 run, but 9-1, 18-3 in the Victoria handicap.
He's every bit. I think he deserves a crack at Group 1s off that, given the setbacks that he had to overcome, the quality of that field, the fact that the stable were open about him being underdone. He was held up on the turn, he got clear, and that's a phenomenal victory, all things considered. He's off to the Hollandale and Dooman Cup reportedly, and he's going to be one of the leading chances in those Group 2 and Group 1 races.
It was an outstanding performance, really. He missed out on a run in the Stradbroke 12 months ago, but you would assume he could be heading back there this year because he was outstanding.